Look, here's the deal. You can spend all day studying cap rates, underwriting numbers, things like that. But if you don't understand why it is you make decisions, you will continue to make the same mistakes over and over and probably even make even bigger mistakes than if you were bad at underwriting, I think. And we're going to talk about that. I don't know, man. I do like numbers a lot.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about that today on the Furlo Capital Real Estate Podcast, where we're going to dive into the genius of working, or working genius, and how that relates to the intricacies of passive real estate investing. Because our mission is to equip people to understand their minds and how they think in order to invest wisely in both property and people so that together we can build wealth while improving housing and improving ourselves at the same time. I'm James, and this is my genius wife, Jessie.
I love this topic because personality
Really?
tests, they're just fun.
Okay,
Like, I don't know. I have used them for productive settings, like in a work type setting. You know, everybody on your team takes this personality test, and then you're all like, oh, you're one of these, you're one of these, I'm one of those. And then you learn how to like communicate. But I just like to take them for myself. Because often, I know you and I both have landed on this where we fit into a particular category most of the time.
Yeah.
And we're like, yes, that is so me. I'm like, yes, 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 yes. And typically I'm like, probably like 90% in one area and then the others are kind of spread out. But that's not how most people are like more even or I don't know.
That's fair. We're pretty extreme
You and I
individuals.
are just extreme.
For the record, Working Genius is not a personality test.
Okay,
It's
fine.
about working styles. So I was recently...
I mean, it's similar though. It's how you work.
I recently I went through a training for it. I'm on the board of directors of a local nonprofit, and we did it to see like, here's how you work as a team. And it was really good. But that was someone was like, personality test. And she was like, it's not a personality test. So
Whatever.
it was my turn to do that. Yeah. So there's a thing called Working Genius. I mean, there's a lot of different things. You got your DISC, your Myers-Briggs, which is dumb. Don't do it.
Which some of those are personality tests.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Those ones are.
Okay.
This one's not.
This is different.
This is how you work with other people and how you. I know.
They're very
it's
similarly
fuzzy,
structured.
Whatever.
At least, like you
Yes,
answer a set of
that's
questions, and it. Yeah.
Totally.
So
yeah, and so you could do this one. It's actually relatively inexpensive. I think last time it was like $35 to do the test. I think
that's right.
Feels right. It wasn't hundreds.
No.
I've done StrengthsFinder, which is now goes under some other name. I don't remember. But and I actually have my employees do it when they start because I want to know what their working type is. That is super
interesting.
And how we integrate with the team, and I want to know how they work and their personalities and what to look out for and how I can best support them.
Yep.
And so we do it. But yeah, we did it as a board. And so I'm going to go through it, and I'm going to talk about all the different. There's not that many. There's like 6 categories. Again, it's actually simpler than a lot of the other ones. Like StrengthsFinder's like, what are you on these 52?
Oh my,
it's a lot. And
this one I can wrap my head around, and like
it's good.
I like it. The thing about it that's nice is I can remember what other people are because it's simple enough. Like it boils it down to 2.
Yeah.
You know, like strengths that someone has, or like a I don't know, a strength, and then you'll probably talk about it. A strength and then like an annoyance or something. I don't know how to say that. But.
Speaking of which, one of my annoyances is the Enneagram.
That one is so complicated.
I don't get it. And here's the thing that most annoys me. They goes, I'm a 3. I'm like, cool,
You're
man.
Like,
what's a 3?
What is that?
At
Nobody
least
knows.
Use the name. Oh, you must be.
Well, there's a number, and then there's a name for it.
Then you got your triads.
Oh my
and your
word.
Diodes.
Yeah, your happy self and your sad self or something. I don't know. It's like, oh my gosh,
so dumb.
Yeah,
but like Christian
some
organizations love them.
Some people love that one.
I don't get it. But Working Genius, really good.
This one makes sense.
I recommend. So the 3 that I do, it's Working Genius. I'll do DISC. As well, mostly because they have really cool charts and graphs that go with their thing.
Makes sense.
Which is nice. And then I do the StrengthsFinder or whatever the one it is.
Is the StrengthsFinder one like spiritual or something?
No.
It's
I was introduced to it when I worked at HP. I think it's like the Gallup poll bought it. I think that's who owns it now.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's like 52 different strengths, and it ranks them for you.
Oh, wow.
Which is kind of cool. So you can see your top 5 and your bottom 5, and that's usually I'm like, let's look at those. Everything else is just noise. And and obviously there's overlap with a bunch of stuff. DISC is nice because it's like, how do you think about problems is how I I interpret it, and how do you come up with solutions and like how you attack things.
Which is very similar to Working Genius.
More so in the sense that, like, do you look at it from I'm going to create solutions versus I'm going to adopt things versus I'm going to mull them over.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
There's overlap with all of them.
Sure, there is.
And it doesn't they don't talk about here's how to work with a team outside of you should have a mix of everybody.
I do like that with this particular one.
Yes.
And I hope if you don't get to it, then I'll talk about like how the different letters, like once you code
I will 100%
work
commit
with
to that.
the other letters.
Yeah. No, we're
and
gonna talk about all that.
I have some stories.
Good. So that's what I want to talk about. Really good. So, what is Working Genius? Let's start with that. Now that we've talked about it a whole bunch.
A personality test.
It's not a personality test. Pat Lencioni.
Oh, sure.
Let's see. Is that how you would pronounce that name there?
Lencioni. Yeah, that looks right.
Laconi. All right. Anyways, yeah, he goes, it's a productivity tool, not a personality test. There you go. See?
There you go.
So there's 6 types of whatever.
Yeah,
options.
Categories.
Of personalities. Oh my gosh.
No.
No.
Of productivity types.
Yeah. Anyways, so you have wonder.
Wonder.
And we'll go into I'll define all of these for you. We have wonder, have invention, discernment, galvanizing, enablement, tenacity.
Spells widget.
Okay. And what they do is they measure. It does.
Yeah.
And
that's how I remember it.
That's probably on purpose, huh?
Oh, I'm sure it is.
I didn't put that together. Go.
I thought you were going to start there and be like, it's widget. So you can remember it.
Nope.
Wonder, invention.
So anyways, it measures how you get work done and how you show up in decision making. And that's the critical piece, which as passive investors, that's what you're doing. You're making decisions. And so knowing where you fall in this and where your sponsor falls is really important. It's funny, I was working with a realtor once when I was buying a commercial set of warehouses. And this guy's amazing at negotiations and really good at it. Really bad at underwriting. I learned about partway through because I was like, whoa, stuff.
What is this?
Which I was like, honestly, like this is a really good combination because I'm
great
good
at underwriting.
And then I could coach him. Here's what I'm looking for. Here's what I want you to do. Here's the outcome. And then he would go do the negotiation and make it happen. So, but it was like, but you got to know that.
Yeah.
So, and there's 2 geniuses, like you were talking about. Those are your top ones. And then you have your 2 competencies, which is like, I can do it, but it might drain me. And then you have your 2 frustrations.
Frustrations, that's the word.
Frustrations.
So true.
Yeah. So, so there's 3 stages of work that happen. And this honestly for me was like mind opening. It articulated something that has bothered me for years.
Yeah.
And it was good. So you have your ideation, right? And this is where the wonder. Do I want to go in this order?
I think
I'm going to take a step back.
Yeah,
I'm going to define what they are first. I'm going to define all 6. Yeah, thank you. That was kind of like. I see why we did this. I was like, in the training we did, this is the order we did, but I also knew all this stuff ahead of time. So, anyways, let's define what those 6 are because I think it will help inform everything else.
Yeah.
Okay, so number 1, wonder. This is your visionary LP, limited partner, right? They're always asking, is there something better out there? Or what's this macro telling us? They ask questions. When I think of wonder, I think they're question askers. They go, what if?
Yeah.
What about? Could it be this? And so they're great at sensing market shifts early and asking questions that others don't. I'm curious, what are your...
I'm a WT.
So you are a wonder tenacity. Okay.
It's weird.
Yeah, so you're a wonder. I'm like, you're great at asking questions.
Like, it's both, once you get down to it, it's both ends of this process where you'll get into it, which is super weird.
Yeah. Well, honestly, your wonder trait, personality, that's why I have you on this podcast. Because I can present stuff and you're good at saying, whoa, hold on a second.
Yeah, like what about this? Or how?
That's why I brought you on.
Yeah, wonders.
So one of their blind spots is that they can talk about an investing thesis without ever committing.
Oh,
There's
for
always
sure.
like, could it be this? What about that? The eternal researcher, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's always another question that they could be asking.
Yeah.
That's how
good.
I kind of, and I, often it's driven by.
If you're a wonder person, that sounds like you. Listen to last week's podcast. It's perfect just for you.
That's true. Well, and often the way I think about this, like in my own brain and how I combat it sometimes is, because I'm always thinking, how could this be better? How could, like, this could be a little bit better. This could, how could we adjust this? How could we, and I'm like, okay, at some point you have to say, this is good enough. Now we need to make a plan and move forward. Which I get. And that's the other piece of me is,
well, the other thing that
let's make a plan.
I know I've worked with you on is slightly reframing it of not saying this is broken, but saying it can be improved upon. It's good.
It's good
and
now.
It can be better.
And then,
because I know, like in your job, that was something you always wrestled with.
Yeah, I'm like, it's never going to be good enough.
And you'd always be like, this is bad. I was like, it's not bad.
Yeah.
There's just room for improvement.
It's good.
Yeah.
And it can improve.
The second one is invention. Okay. And these are the creative deal structures types of people. They're wired to generate new ideas for creative financing, novel structure, first mover types of stuff. They see angles that others miss, and they thrive in complex custom deal design. They are inventors.
Yeah. They come up with the ideas.
Yes.
Oh my word. And these people kind of drive me bananas.
That must be a frustration of yours.
Because I ask a bunch of questions and they come up with like 50 different answers.
Yeah.
And they're like, ooh, what about this? Oh no, I thought of another one. What about this? How about we do this? How about we could do that? And I'm like, oh my gosh, just stop. Can you just commit to something? But it is.
You used to work for one of those people.
Very good. Yes. They're very, very good at coming up with tons of ideas and very creative. Like, oh, I bet we could tweak it this way. Or what if we layer those two on top? And it's like, oh my word. Just
I've got a friend, he's an agent, and he's very inventive and always coming up with very complex deals.
Right? You're like,
okay.
Oh.
It's cool. I mean, I like them too. The blind spot is that they can fall in love with the structure over the fundamentals. And they just like, they start to reinvent
like, no,
the
this
wheels
could
on
work.
some basic stuff. They're like, just buy just like normal. What are we doing? just do a lease option. And I've done that with my business partner. We're like, it's kind of funny. We got to find out how to structure this creatively so we can do it. And we're like, we'll just keep adding stuff and trying to make it complicated to try to solve different problems. So what about this? And we come back around and we're like, we should just do a lease option.
Like, oh.
Turns out. Yeah. Yeah, pretty funny. The next one is discernment, which this is one I don't have.
Zero of this. I know. I'm sorry.
I feel like I lean on you for it. It is the analytical validator. Okay, they are good at saying, is this the right time? Is this the right sponsor? Is this the right market? Is this the right deal? They are exceptional at pattern recognition, and they can read operators and markets accurately. And oftentimes that's kind of a gut feel type of thing.
Right.
Like that's how we overcome it is we just do a ton of research. But these are people who they can just sense like something's just not right, or something like this is awesome. The discernment. Oh, I need discernment in my life.
Yeah. They often are asking like, is that what we want to do?
Yeah.
Or how exactly will that work if we, so that they're double checking. It's like, I think in my brain, it's like the double checker.
Now they can often become the person who they're
Holds
always
up the
vetoing
plan.
stuff, right? They can sometimes, it can feel like analysis paralysis, but it's dressed up as due diligence.
Yep.
And they're the skeptic, right? They're
necessary, but yes, they can hold up the process.
Yeah. I find actually using chatbots for this is super helpful.
For discernment?
Oh yeah. So like if I'm looking at a deal, I will upload it to chat. Like, hey, take a look at this. What am I missing? What are people going to be concerned about? What are the risks inherent in this project? Like, where would you be cautious if you were to invest in this deal? What questions are you going to ask me?
Interesting
About it?
I find that wonder and discernment definitely have similarities, but they're slightly different.
They are
like,
different.
Wonder is more of the big picture, like, what if? How can we, make this work? And the discernment is like,
should we?
Is this really? Yeah, should we? But they're similar in the sense that they're asking how it could be good, how we could make it better. So
there are, I don't think I wrote this down. There's two sides of it. So you jump back and forth between, on the chart, it's a left and a right. And so wonder and discernment and enablement are all left side of things, which are the more empathetic, like they're more like
question asking.
Yeah.
big
going
picture
with other people, or they're it's one's disruptive, the other one's like accommodating.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the right side, which is going to be invention, galvanizing, and tenacity, can be disruptive.
Yeah.
And so that's what you're describing is both the wonder and discernment are on the, hey, let's
bring this together.
Let's get everyone on the same page. Let's not disrupt what's going on.
Right.
And so that's kind of what when you're saying they're related, that's what it is.
That makes sense.
Okay, next one is galvanizing. I am a galvanizer.
I am so not a galvanizer.
Let's go. So this is one of mine. I'm also tenacity. What would you say? You're tenacity? We're together on that one.
WT.
Yes, we'll get there. I'm a GT. I'm a Mustang, man. Let's just go. So these are momentum builders. Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
So they rally others. They drive urgency. They love getting people aligned and moving. They're excellent at convincing. Oh, no, I'm sorry. They're excellent at conviction-based decisions, building investor relationships, and leading syndications. Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah, you're all about finding your people and getting them moving.
Yeah. Downside, sometimes they can move a little too fast. And they can they can move before the proper discernment. They have an optimism bias.
We have
that might be me.
Galvanizer on our team who he is like 100% galvanizer. I don't even know what his secondary thing is, but he often will help us recruit for different jobs or volunteers or different things. And he'll just get all the names, and he gets people to be like, yeah, okay, I'm interested. And he's like, perfect. So he's got the list of names, he's got the phone numbers, and you reach out and you're like, okay, this person said you're ready to go, you're fired up. And they're like, no, I don't know. It's like, he's so good at like having to be like, yeah, are you in? They're like, yes. I don't even know why I said yes right now.
Yeah, but he's lacking that discernment piece and
right. Yeah, people. It's like just running hard on the galvanizing.
Yeah, so these guys, they're the deal makers, right? They close things other people wouldn't even try.
That's right.
And again, sometimes they close things they shouldn't. So it happens.
It's such an intriguing skill to me though, because it's like I have to do it for the job that I have because I work with volunteers and I have to get people interested and engaged and like working. But it is so hard to like cast a vision for people and get them on board. And for some people, like it just seems so natural. Like whoever these galvanizer people are, it's like
whoever those folks are,
whoever you are.
Yeah.
It's
they
like,
may want to start up an entire podcast to talk about real estate to get other people excited about it. Maybe.
Yeah, and it just seems so natural to you to be like, oh yeah, why wouldn't you talk about this? Or why wouldn't you invite someone to join you? I'm just like,
do you believe in what you're doing? Awesome. Tell them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the galvanizer.
Galvanizer.
And you can kind of see, again, invention, galvanizer, that's more the disruptive side of the world.
Yes.
Right? They're making waves. They're doing stuff. Okay, let's go back to the calm side. This is enablement. It's a supportive co-investor. They say yes before fully thinking it through. And because they're responding to others' needs instinctively. They're great at collaborative ventures and following strong operators and adding value inside of a deal. Okay, but sometimes they can overcommit capital or time and attention to deals out of loyalty or social pressure. And so it's the co-signer. They follow a charismatic syndicator into a bad deal because they couldn't say no.
Well, yeah, they're often. I have an assistant. She's I think she's ET, and she often is asking, "How can I help? What can I do?"
Yeah.
And it's like, even if you're overwhelmed, stressed out, have way too much on your plate, she's like, "Okay, well, how can I help you?" And I'm like, I think maybe it's taking something off the plate.
Your own things.
Right? Yeah, but that's their drive.
I think that's going to be our daughter.
Can help. I can be.
She's got that.
She very much has.
She's
that
a meddler
sense.
at this age, but eventually it will become enabler.
She's a helper. She likes to help.
Yes, definitely. And the last one is tenacity, which we both have. Let's get after it. This is the executor. Tenacity. They want clear terms, defined timelines, and to see the thing through to completion. They're disciplined, excellent at passive investing structures, and love quarterly reports and defined exits. It does bother me. I'm not actually as consistent on reporting as I would like to be. Yeah. And it bothers me, but I'm also like, I don't know, nothing happened.
There's a balance.
What to tell you? The problem with them is that they can stay too long in a bad deal because they just want to see it through.
Right.
And they hate ambiguity, which we've talked multiple times. True. The great deals, there's things. Yeah. We were talking to, how many was this ago? This was a while ago. we're talking about this deal that we're doing in Salem. We're flipping, or not Salem, in Sweet Home, one of those S's. We're flipping the property.
Yeah.
And there's like the first 2 weeks in there where you're doing all the initial demo and you're finding everything. It's like, oh, I hate that part because I had it underwriting. We did all the other stuff. Now we're executing. We're getting after it. And then when they go, so we found this. What do you want to do? And I'm just like,
to a tenacity person, that is just like, oh, I have to change the plan, and this is gonna mess everything up.
And I find myself just like, well, what do you think we should do? This and that. Good, whatever. Like,
fine,
stop bothering me.
Let's go.
Just go. Like, what are we doing here? Right? Time is money. Come on.
Just check the box.
Yeah. This is plus or minus 10%. Why are we having this conversation?
Right.
But like we had one where it was because of the way the electrical was done, it was, well, are we going to go above or are we going to dig underneath? I was like, I don't know. Well, it was super funny too. I was like, well, what's it look like above? Because it was already going above. Mm-hmm. So I was like, let's just do that. Yeah. And they were like, well, we don't like fully know where it goes. And I was like, is there not an attic space? Like, well, there is, but it's kind of dusty, dirty. I was like, forget this. I was wearing nice clothes. I'm like, I didn't care.
Let's go.
I climbed through the dust and the spider webs, got in there, took pictures of everything so I could see it and went, okay, here's the actual situation so we can make a decision and move on. Like instead of us guessing here, which ultimately they decided to dig, which I was like, fine, I don't care.
Yeah.
But like,
make a decision.
Oh, I hate that part. That's like in every deal, that's that first 2 weeks where they're opening everything up. I'm like, let's just keep going. Anyways, those are the 6. So again, we've got wonder, great at asking questions, invention, great at coming up with stuff to do. We have discernment, good at deciding should we be doing this, galvanizing, getting people on board, enablement, helping other people succeed, and then tenacity, just getting things done. I can tell what you are. It's hilarious. Okay, so those are the 6. There are 3 stages of work, as I was saying previously, that knowing this now was super helpful, and I can now articulate this inside of group meetings.
Right.
And I think as an investor, it's good to ask those type of questions as well. And this is something that you and I have had to struggle with because you're such a tenacity person. I'll come at you with, hey, look at this property. And you're like, you're going to buy it. I'm like, no, I'm just like.
I know. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay,
so,
here we go.
Stage 1 is the ideation.
And this is like, just to back up a step, this is for any project.
For any project.
From start to finish, there's these 3 phases.
Or any decisions being made.
Yeah.
It's probably how to think about it.
Okay, so phase 1.
So you have the ideation. And this is where the wonder and invention come into it. This is the 30,000 foot view. And they're asking questions like, well, what if? Or here's the deal. Here's how we could structure it. Like they throw out a bunch of scenarios and could be. And that is often when you first see a deal or a property, that's the stage that you're in. Could these numbers make sense? Could it, or what about investing in this area or this property type or whatever? What if we structured it this way?
Bigger picture question too about like, well, why are we doing this? And what's the heart behind it? And,
there's some of that.
Yeah. It's
some of it. Yeah.
There's drive.
Yeah.
It's the bigger picture.
Yeah. And then you have the activation, which is for discernment and galvanizing. We're getting a little bit lower now. It's at 20,000 feet, right? They're asking, is this the right idea? And if so, all right, let's start moving. Let's start getting our team. Let's start figuring it out. That kind of thing. And that's where a lot of underwriting is going to sit in on that and, working on a spreadsheet and saying, I think I have good investors. I think we could do this, like that kind of thing. And for me, I'll put out little feelers with people. Hey, I'm looking at this kind of deal. What do you think? And I'll just kind of try to get some feedback. And that's me doing like the galvanizing / discerning, trying to see if there's interest there.
I have zero interest in this part of the process. It actually drives me bananas because I'm like, oh my gosh, we already answered all the questions. Let's just make a plan and do the checklist.
No.
Like, why are we second guessing everything? It's like, we're refining and making it better and getting people on board. And I'm like, what a waste of time. But I'm like, hard. Okay, I understand.
That was my notes here was most investors actually skip activation entirely.
Right?
They go from great idea straight to let's fund it.
Right.
So implementation is the final stage, and this is for enablement and tenacity. This is where you get into the 1,000 foot view, which is how do I help and let's finish it. Like let's do it. Yeah. And so you have those 3 stages. And I think, like you said, there's a couple things that'll happen in decision-making process. The first one is you got someone who's throwing out an idea, and some people in the group will instantly be like, well, okay, well, I have all these implementation questions. You're like, whoa, like we're not.
We're not there yet.
Okay, man, like we're still in the no bad ideas phase of this, And so I think you have that.
Yep.
But then you had the opposite where you're starting to get to like, okay, we're into the implementation, we're working through, and someone pulls an e-brake and says, well, but like, well, what about if we did this thing instead? And people in the group are like, whoa, like we are past that stage. Like we're hitting publish on this funding. Like we're at the closing table and we need to do it. And again, I've a guy who we've worked with where it's very rare that it actually closes on time because inevitably something comes up. Hey, what if we actually switch it and do it this way? And you're like, we're signing all the paperwork tomorrow. Everyone's already signed off on the original thing. It's like, yeah, I know, but like this is going to be so much better. Like, that would have been really good to know a week ago. I had that with the deal that we did. It was super frustrating because we didn't close, and it was just like, come on, man, like quit changing things on us. Like let's just move forward with what we all agreed on initially.
Yeah. And
so like the problem, and that's as an investor, you want to figure out what stage of this conversation are we at, and what stage are you at? Like maybe with your spouse or whoever you're also investing with. Like,
sure.
And I actually think that's where a lot of spouses will get into trouble because they'll go from, hey, this is the idea phase. I've been looking at this. I've been thinking about this. And then they go to their spouse and say, hey, I want to invest in this deal. Let's write a check. And the spouse is like, whoa, I'm still up at the ideation here. I haven't progressed as far down as you have. You need to, and you can get frustrated because you're like, dude, there's only a limited number of spots. We got to move. And they're like, I'm just not there yet. And so, so knowing, to me, that was huge, understanding, and then verbally saying, okay, we're moving on to this part of the decision-making process or this part of the conversation has been super helpful.
Yeah, we've found that too with our team where those wonder invention people, once we've moved on to that second phase of the process, we do have to remind them like, hey, we've moved on from the brainstorming and the big idea. Those are great ideas. Let's save them like for next year's project or for next year's event. And let's complete what we've already committed to this year. Yeah. Because it's too late in the game to make a switch. Yeah. But it's
hard for some people too because
new ideas.
Typically at the beginning part of that process, and this is like you got to figure out how do you make it tangible for them. Like you talk about all the time. You're like, I'm not a visual person. I need to see it.
I am a visual person. I have to see it.
Sorry. But oftentimes at that ideation stage, it's just talk. Right. It's all verbal. Yeah. You're not doing anything.
It's not.
There's a really good
solid plan.
book that was an acronym. Oh my gosh. I
don't know.
Dang. It was former Googlers wrote it, but they were talking about how you can quickly come up with ideas and iterate on them. And they were talking about how you just like, they're like, man, I am so sorry. I don't remember the name of the book. I read it a while ago, but they were talking about where, first you do some ideation stuff, and then based on that, like you pick your top 3 or 5, and then you go quickly draw them up. Like here's what it could look like to as best as you can to help those people who are visual. Like, see, because the problems you run into is that you get into the planning phase, it suddenly becomes more real.
No.
And that's where the wonder invention people come in and go, oh, now that I can see it, I was actually thinking X, Y, Z. Yeah. And so it's like, how do you pull some of that up faster in that decision-making process?
Which honestly, that's where like my combination is super helpful because I go from the wonder straight to tenacity and I go, okay, that sounds like a great idea. Here's the plan. And often I have those people in the middle going, well, no. Like, that's not quite the plan. Like, I see why you wrote it that way, but we need, like, let's bring it back and let's adjust it. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. But I force them to like move forward. Yeah. And because it's both. I like the big idea. I like the wonder, but I have to have a plan. Yeah. And I'll just go straight to the end. And it's like, no, that you need the middle part to make it better. But I got to have something. I have to start with something. So that's helpful.
So let's talk about how some of your types can affect your investing. Okay. Because you can be stuck at one of those, we'll call them the altitudes of decision makings, and it's hard to go back and down. So like, for example, maybe you're a wonder investor. That's one of your primaries. You've got a thesis on industrial, but you just never find a deal that's good enough because you struggle to get lower on it. Or you're a galvanizer investor, which you go and close on what you think is a hot deal before asking enough questions.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've done this once. It's like, well, at least once. But specifically, I'm like, in retrospect, I'm like, I wouldn't have done this deal. I would have done something different, but I got all excited and swept up into it.
Yeah.
And so, it's like one of those, I'm like, man, bummer. Or you're a tenacity investor, which is like, man, you just hold a flat cash flow deal for years past its potential, oh my gosh, its optimal exit. Because you might think like, oh, it'll recover. You just keep moving forward, like something like that. And, or it's like, I am just looking at cash flow. I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm doing super boring.
Right.
That's all deals.
Yeah. It's like narrowed, too narrow.
Yeah. Yeah. And you might also have issues or knowing what your tendencies are for selecting sponsors is also okay. Because remember, you're not picking the market. You're picking someone to run with, right? So if you are a tenacity investor, you might want a galvanizing operator because they're going to get you excited and get you moving, and then you'll hold them to actually finishing.
Yeah.
Or if you are a wonder investor, you definitely need a discernment operator because they're going to filter your crazy ideas into ones that actually work. And if there is a mismatch and you don't understand that can create tension and just poor communication and misaligned expectations because you're like, come on. And so knowing where your sponsor's at, knowing that I'm not a discerner, but I've like, that's what my investors like, that's something that they need to double check. Hey, is James doing this?
Yeah.
And I've talked about this in the past, but I work really hard to make sure that my risks and mitigations is more exhaustive and comprehensive than what anyone else is going to come up with. And I throw it into different chat bots to help me come up with those things and to stress test it. And I spend a lot of time thinking through those. And I also just have some general heuristics because I know, this is something that I'm not naturally going to see. And so for example, I will tamp down the rents and I will increase the cap rates and I will extend out vacancies. And there's things I do, which makes it harder to compete on deals because I get super conservative, but I'm also like, I don't know. This isn't natural to me. And so I've got to do these math things to help make up for that, which thankfully is also highly convincing. So,
I think also one of the benefits of knowing kind of where you sit in this when you're talking with your sponsor or looking at different investments, and realizing how you communicate differently. Here's a specific example. I have teammates, so I'm a wonder tenacity. Once I get down the tenacity route, when they go back to that discernment galvanizing stage, it was causing this tension because I was like, you don't trust me. You won't move forward. You don't like the plan, and it was like, no, it wasn't any of those. They just wanted to use their skill set to make it better. And it was like, oh, okay. I had to release my grip on it has to be this certain way for a time to say, let's discern. Is this what we actually want? Is it the best? Is it good? Do people want to get on board? And then we move forward again. Yeah. And it's like, it wasn't like they were malicious or had this no, I don't really trust you. That's not a good plan. It was just, we need to back up and do this step. And so it was like, oh, okay. That makes a lot more sense now that I'm we used to have this tension in team meetings and I was just like, why can we not just move forward? Are you kidding me? I feel like this is a good plan. I have the checklist. And it was like, oh, this is better. I can pause and listen to them. So,
and I think for investors, it's if you find your sponsors getting frustrated because you're asking questions, you're probably wonder, and it's explaining to them, hey, look, I get it, and explaining part of that process to them can be helpful. I know for me, it's when I get questions, I'm like, all right, hey, they're engaged. I'll take it as a win, and I will fully answer their questions. And even though I feel like I made a really comprehensive thing, I recognize there's a difference between writing it all out and someone just reading it real quick. is different. So I'm trying to think. What do I I have a lot written here. I don't think we need to do it all. There's just different pairings that could be really interesting, I guess. And so, and that's the thing, like you probably recognize that you sit in 2 of them. But I would say take the test. It's a pretty quick test. And I think it's worth it. Again, it's not crazy expensive. It's fun. You can definitely go down the personality test rabbit hole. Skip Myers-Briggs. They've been proven that it doesn't it's not predictive of anything.
Is that the ENTJ?
I think so. Yeah. That's another one where they just they throw letters out at you. I mean, Disc kind of does the same thing as well, which I don't love. But yeah, man, just keep it simple. So good. Working Genius. It's worth it to know your working type, to learn more about us. And again, you've seen I'm definitely a galvanizing tenacity kind of guy, which is cool. I also think the other thing you want to do is you want to identify your frustration types. Okay. And so, again, that's where someone might have that and it bothers you.
Galvanizers and inventors for me are I think it's
discernment wonder of mine. Stop asking questions. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm stop changing the plan.
Yeah. I once had a business partner for a startup, and he was definitely an inventor and probably tenacity, but
maybe inventor galvanizer. I don't know, man.
But man, he used to come up with crazy ideas, and we'd be like, "Let's go!"
Oh, he could definitely rally people, though. So
probably a galvanizer.
There's got to be galvanizer in there.
Yeah. But he was he was inventing,
which is quite an interesting combination. Yes, he definitely would come up with crazy ideas and get people on board right away. And just run with it.
But then would also I don't want to say flame out pretty fast, but he'd do it once, but all right, cool, next thing.
Right. He liked the new idea.
Yeah. So you just got to be aware of that. All right. So, and then I would look at your last 3 deals that you did, right? What stage did you rush? What stages did you skip?
Yeah.
Which ones were you yeah, that's the one. And then just look at your operator relationship. So look at me, right? Do yours complement what's going on? Because you don't want to have the same. I mean, you can. It's fun. But really,
you'll get along, but you may not make progress.
Build out that team. You might get stuck somewhere.
Yep.
And so that's important. Yeah. So yeah, there we go. That's Working Genius, and kind of thinking about your mindset as being an investor and how it works to it. Anyways, I thought it was really cool. And
it's awesome.
Hopefully super helpful. So if you're interested in investing with a galvanizing tenacity guy and a wonder person by his side, man, we would love to talk to you. So you can learn more about what it is like to invest with us. And you can check us out at furlo.com to learn more. So with that, thanks for listening. Have a great week.